Thousands of warriors from the most powerful empire on Earth arrived at Japan's shores. They expected an easy victory. But what happened on the island of Tsushima shocked everyone. Because the samurai were brave. Yet within hours, something went terribly wrong. And the real story of that battle is far more brutal than the legends. Japan in the 13th century believed its warriors were unstoppable. The samurai followed strict codes of honor. They trained for years. Swordsmanship, archery, discipline. But across the sea, a different kind of army was rising. An army that had already conquered much of Asia. The empire of Kublai Khan. And soon, Japan was next. But here's what most people don't know. The samurai had never faced an enemy like this before. Before we continue, imagine this. You are a samurai on Tsushima Island. You look at the horizon, and instead of a few enemy ships, you see hundreds. In October 1274, the Mongol invasion fleet appeared. Warships filled the sea. Inside them were Mongol warriors, Chinese soldiers, and Korean troops. Tens of thousands. Their target was Japan. The first place they landed was Tsushima Island. Only a few hundred samurai defended the island, and their leader was Sō Sukekuni. He knew something terrifying. They were massively outnumbered, but retreat was not an option. Here's where the story gets strange. The samurai expected the enemy to fight the samurai way. One warrior challenging another. Honor, skill, a duel. But the Mongols didn't fight like that. Not even close. When the samurai charged forward, they expected individual combat. Instead, the Mongols attacked together. Rows of soldiers advanced as one. Drums thundered. Arrows filled the sky. Explosive bombs burst on the battlefield. Yes, bombs. Something the samurai had never seen before. Suddenly, the battlefield turned into chaos. Think about that moment. A samurai trained his entire life for honorable combat. Now he faced smoke, explosions, and coordinated attacks. Everything he knew about war stopped working. The truth is harsh. The samurai were incredibly brave. But bravery alone wasn't enough. The Mongols fought differently. They used tactics, formation, psychological warfare, and they had numbers. Huge numbers. The defenders of Tsushima were overwhelmed. One by one, the samurai fell. And their leader, Sō Sukekuni, fought until the end. But the invasion didn't stop there. Because Tsushima was only the beginning. The Mongol fleet was heading deeper into Japan. And the next battle would decide the fate of the country. News of the destruction spread quickly. Village burned. Warriors killed. The Mongol army continued forward. Their next target, Hakata Bay. Japanese defenses prepared for another brutal clash. But something unexpected happened. Something no army could control. A storm was forming over the sea. At first, no one realized how powerful it would become. But that storm would soon enter history. As the Mongol fleet waited offshore, the winds began to rise. Waves crashed against the ships. The storm grew stronger and stronger. Soon the sea turned violent. Ships collided. Others were smashed against the coast. Thousands of Mongol soldiers drowned. The invasion collapsed. Japan survived. Later, the Japanese would call this storm the Divine Wind. But here's the twist many people forget. The storm didn't win the war alone. The samurai resistance slowed the Mongols long enough for the storm to arrive. The Mongols would try again years later. But Japan was ready. Stronger defenses. More warriors. The lessons of Tsushima had changed everything. And the samurai adapted. What started as a brutal defeat became a turning point in Japanese history. The Battle of Tsushima shattered a myth. It proved something important. Honor alone cannot win wars. Strategy matters. Adaptation matters. And sometimes, survival depends on forces no one can control. Storms, luck, timing. The samurai showed incredible courage. But the brutal reality is this. If that storm had not come, history might remember Japan very differently.